Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on our little war in the Dutch East Indies, which is basically done at this point, and our war in Honduras, which I am remembering exists. I'm gonna keep this army on defense at the moment while it gains organization and manpower, because it's currently short of manpower, and we'll go from there. So I want to focus a little bit on our industrial development as we get along here. I think we need to figure out what, as an economy, we can be exporting. So I'm going to take some time to look at the large markets in the world and figure out what they want. So the British market wants man-o-wars. It's really interesting. I wonder... Are they still... They're still on a man-o-wars based navy. Alright, interesting. They want engines. They want paper. Okay, okay. So we can focus on building up paper. Now, the French... We are embargoing the French, if I recall correctly. Yes. So we're not going to worry about them. Russia has a pretty substantial market, and they're often a good trading partner. They need explosives and clothes. Alright, and munitions, and then Prussia. Oh my goodness, Italy's in the French market. That's bananas. Okay, so all these people need engines, and Prussia needs luxury clothes, which we might already be trading all of our luxury clothes to them. Nope, the French are. Well, that's fine. So let's go ahead and queue in wow, I just completely forgot what I was doing. I saw there was an event, and I completely forgot what I was doing. Engines. We were going to do engines. So, let's go ahead and set engines to encourage exports. And we're going to set up some export routes. I'm going to start exporting to Britain. Japan needs some. And we're going to build up a large engine industry. So, where are our engines currently being built? Mostly in Michigan. A ton of those are owned by the government. These... Yeah, those are being privatized. So we've got some in Pennsylvania, but we don't have a lot of infrastructure capacity there. Texas, Ohio. Ohio's a good place to build up some engine industry. Washington is also a good place in the long term to build up engine industry. And then we'll need to take another infrastructure pass, but we'll wait on that for now as we get started with this event. A patriotic explorer and partisan of the petite bourgeoisie has been surveying land in British Herero land and signing treaties with local leaders on behalf of our nation, but Great Britain has already established a presence in the area. The explorer's claims are recognized. Great Britain will be furious with us. The man is a maniac. We're trying to play a careful, delicate game over here, and this man has to upturn the table and cause a headache for us all. And for what? The nation? Please, does that man not realize the damage he's doing? Accept the claim? Oh, this gives us infamy too. Heck! Everybody happy but diplomatic incident, or reject. Everybody salty. 1.4 infamy to Great Britain. Reducing their relations. But it won't result in... So this is just to get a claim on Great Britain's... I don't think this is the wrong play. Let me see. For our IGs, that's the petite bourgeoisie, the southern planters, and the armed forces. I'm going to go with the second one. I think we will keep this territory, however. Like, I don't think we lose this or anything like that. So from here, let's go ahead and do another infrastructure pass. Another pass for railways. So I'm just looking for any area where we've got low net infrastructure. I need to have... North Carolina's got a lot of infrastructure available. Something to keep in mind. I'm just looking for any place where we've got a lot of... Or we've got a little bit of a shortage of infrastructure. So Pennsylvania is a good example of that. Delaware could use another. Michigan is very short. Alaska's probably fine for now. Texas could use some building up. Oh, Liberia is short. Oh, Liberia is a subject state, so that is what it is. Alright, cool. That's looking good. Not too much done there. Alright, so... looks like things are going just fine in Indonesia. This naval invasion is on its way. So not too worried about this. How is this army? This army is doing much better. Force comparison's a lot better. So I'm going to set these units to advance for now, and we'll be good to go. Visitors from the colonies. The intellectuals from Tuat are visiting our capital, arguing the case that their home country is far more civilized than we make it out to be, and that our colonial designs on them are unjustified. It's quite baffling, I must say, to hear you speak of being robbed when the United States of America brings you the greatest gift of all, the gift of civilization. The Tuat gentleman leaned forward and responded bitterly, I've seen the ships that arrive at our shores, and I've seen the ships that leave. The civilization you are bringing must be very light, but the price we pay for it seems to be quite heavy indeed. This is up here. It's all affectation and lies. Send them back immediately. Salty armed forces, trade unions, and intelligentsia. Or perhaps, and then, relations decline. Or tensions go up. Or perhaps there's some value in hearing their perspective. Reduced colony growth speed, but relations go up. I'm going to do the first one. I can't afford reducing colony growth speed up here. Because I need these closed out as soon as I can get them closed out so that we can focus on colonizing here in Central Africa and Southern Africa and here in Indonesia, which we're still continuing to work on. We got a battle kicking off here. I think we are winning. Yes, we are for sure winning. Alright, so moving right along here. Take a quick run at our market. I'm currently building up government admin as we speak. And have I got the move to... Yes, I do have the move to colonial affairs kicked off already. So I think the next batch of government admin, we probably are going to increase some of our other institutions, but we might also focus on using these for export routes, because we want to be doing more exporting. Can we export more liquor? We can. Morocco will buy our liquor, and Japan as well. Wonderful. I'm going to set liquor to encourage exports. Alright, there's the Peasant Revolt in Nicaragua finished. So that's very good. And then everything is basically good to go over here. Yeah, that's going to sort itself out relatively soon. As soon as this navy gets here, we'll naval invade them, and that'll be fine. Let me see. Peasant Revolt in Mawar. I can ignore that safely without a problem. Alright. Next thing on the docket. Someone's got to want rubber. No? Nobody? Tragic. Just tragic. Let me see if our engine's export route is able to be more productive. Alright. Prussia, Belgium, and... I don't want to export to Spain, because they're our rivals. But I will export to Prussia and Belgium. And we are going to build up those motor industries as soon as these government admins are done. In fact, we're actually already working on them, so that's lovely. A little bit more lead is still necessary. Steel's doing okay. Clothes are doing okay. Let me see if we've got some options for exporting luxury clothes. We do. We can export them to the Dutch. That's wonderful. And I suspect some of those will be productive a little later, so I might work on maybe doing a little bit more. Actually, have I gotten vulcanization yet? No, but it's being worked on. All right, we'll cue that in for the next thing on the set. And there's oil in Nebraska. Excellent. I think vacuum canning is also going to be a priority. And then after this, I think we might need to clear out the tier 2 for, well, actually, hold up. I do want to get vulcanization, but I think after that, maybe I actually want to grab the other militaries from tier 3 so that I can get ahead. If I can get to, let me see. Sea Lane Strategies is what unlocks Scout Cruiser, and Scout Cruisers are the best in terms of, in my humble opinion, of the light ships, so I kind of want to just get there and get that done and squared away so that we can have what we want to have with that and everything can be nice. Another oil event. Encourage this trend. Oil is the future. So, Nicaraguan attitude worsened. I'm not sure why, but power block mutation declined. Oh, interesting. So, now that we're a little infamous, let's take a quick look at our diplomacy and see how our subjects feel. A lot of them are not going down. New Grenada is actually going up a little bit. Even though I've reduced their subject payments. Okay. So yeah, so this is one of the big reasons that I try to keep infamy as low as possible, because you get into these situations and you can really have yourself a headache. Tunis and Touggourt are fighting, but over what? An annex CB. That's interesting. I might try to take Tunis as a puppet state. We'll see. Okay. That naval invasion failed because that war ended. And we got ourselves a little bit more of... And Duchy Sindi's is still trying to steal more of New Guinea. Well, fine. You enjoy that. So we've gotten feminism unlocked now. So let's take a quick look at our laws. Okay, I don't have anybody... I got Susan B. Anthony over here in the intelligentsia. I like her way better than Silas Woodbury, who's an ethno-nationalist. So, we'll definitely... I can't make her a leader because she's a woman. Oh my goodness. Why don't you leave this movement to do protected speech, Susan B. Anthony, and start agitating for women's suffrage like you did in history? Alright, so government admins are getting built. That's very good. Let's go ahead and increase the game speed a little bit. And that'll be just fine. Gosh, that 28 extra infamy really, really messed me up, I must say. Ending the slave trade. James Baumfree, leader of the trade unions, and a well-known opponent of the global slave trade, argues that our colonial ambitions in American Namaqualand should be leveraged towards ending the practice on the continent. Ending slavery within our own borders is a meager victory in the grand perspective of human history. As long as there are countries in the world willing to sell slaves, there will be countries coming to buy them, and vice versa. The concept must be stamped out wherever it can be found, so that eventually it can be stamped out in the human soul itself. We have a duty to end slavery wherever our power reaches, extra colonial growth speed, trade unions happy, increased tensions. Practical diplomacy must supersede just moralist sentiments, trade unions salty, or the local slave trade would be a good source of workforce for our local plantations. Absolutely not. We have a duty to end slavery. The sooner we can get, and colonial affairs is up to 5. So we are colonizing just as fast as we frickin' can. Again, I can go here. I don't really want to. A bunch of different countries arguing over Gabon. I don't feel any obligation to do that. To join in that argument, as it were. I do have a claim on French Congo. There's another mass immigration. That's wonderful. That's exactly what I'm happy to see. Population continues to climb due to immigration, which is excellent. So, we'll work on these motor industries, and then, so let's take another look. Austria is another country who's, Kuban. Kuba uprising. Well, that's just fine. Where? Over here. Alright. That is just fine. Army of West Africa seems to be not exactly in the right place to deal with it, but they'll, you know, they'll deal with it. I think they ended up getting stuck over there due to being part of that naval invasion. So I think it's going to be just fine. I'm going to have the Atlantic Fleet go back to the Atlantic. Alright, so in terms of... I was looking at the Austrian market to see what they want a lot of. They want engines and they want dynamite. And they want explosives. They want grain. Oh my goodness. We've got a lot of grain. We could sell them grain. We could sell you grain, Austria. Export route for grain. Huh. Now, I do not want to set grain to encourage exports, because setting grain to encourage exports creates a little bit of an event chain. And I definitely don't want that. So, what else do you want? You want engines, and you want explosives, and you want ammunition. I can definitely export you ammunition, no problem. And I can't improve relations because I don't have the influence right now, although I suppose I could do something like halting tech sharing. Say, Benin. Benin's liberty desire is very low. I don't need to maintain tech sharing with them. Oh, but this will increase their liberty desire if I stop doing that. Oh, that's very interesting. I didn't realize. So I've kind of committed to this situation. Bourgeois revolt in Australia. You know, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think it might need to start being time for me to stop being allied with Great Britain, because the fact that I'm allied with Great Britain means I can't break off states from their empire, and that's not great. I don't love that. You know, I'm just going to keep an eye on these to make sure I'm not near the edge of a region and getting to the point where I can start colonizing. So yeah, so a lot of these countries are still going really slowly because they don't have malaria prevention, but I do. So hopefully that gives us enough of a head start that we don't end up in a situation over there, that we're able to get everything we want to get. I'm actually going to increase uprising by the Bobangi. That's alright. And oil in California. A gold rush. I'm gonna say mine, it's all mine again. You've heard the gold rush event 100 times. But in this case I think it's an oil rush. Because the gold fields are still the same. So we'll definitely be able to leverage all this oil we've got eventually. But for now, we're just trying to chill. I'm going to declare neutrality over here on this diplomatic play in Oceania. I think another goal in the long term is to go after France, but for the moment we've got a truce for another 14 months. So that simply is what it is. So I was going to build up some more engine industries, and I think Montana is a good place to build up. Excuse me. So we'll go ahead and throw 2 railways in there. And we'll throw 10 more levels of motor industries. We're also going to need to expand the steel industry to make that happen. I think Colorado is the place for that. Infrastructure is rock solid in Colorado, so I can just go ahead and build 10 levels of steel mills. And that should be just fine. So I think that's enough industry for the moment. We've got there's actually only 4 pages of tech tree, or of construction queue. I got a lot of construction here, my friends. Perhaps the time has come to create ourselves a second fleet. Yeah, I think that's the case. I'm gonna create a Pacific fleet and an African fleet. So, let's go ahead over to navies. I'm going to put this fleet on the Pacific coast. Who do we want? Rodolph Downing, you seem good. You're a naval commander. You're also a naval commander. Auguste Morris, you're a Democrat. You're a corporatist. You both seem good. We have an event. The Nebraska Pipeline. Oil companies operating in Nebraska have requested government assistance in funding a pipeline, promising that its construction will be accompanied by other infrastructure improvements. Putting a liquid inside a solid, putting that solid inside another solid, and propelling the whole mess across a railway, trust me, in the future they will laugh at how we once did this. Now let me show you how simple it could be. It'll be just like turning a tap. We will contribute to the funding of this pipeline, extra infrastructure forever, extra government expenses forever, although not in this case, and extra industrialists happy for 2 years. Or I can say no, and they will be unhappy. Yeah, I'm sure the zero-cost pipeline will be fine. I'm sure it will obey all standards of safety, and it will never create a problem. Alright, so for the 3rd American Fleet, let's go ahead and build some monitors. I think we want 10 levels of monitors in California, and 5 in Oregon, and 5 in Washington, and then I'll throw in 5 levels each of ironclads in Oregon and California, and that'll be fine. And then we'll go ahead and we'll establish a West African fleet. Let me see, are we here on the front? Yes, we are. All right, beautiful. And we'll set this up in the Senegal HQ. So you're leader for this one. You see, you're brave, but you're an authoritarian aligned with the petite bourgeoisie. So maybe not you. You're an ethno-nationalist. You're a corporatist. That'll be fine. And let me see. Rodolph Gardner. You're also an ethno-nationalist. One leader's fine. So, let's go ahead and throw 10 levels of monitors in Mauritania, 5 in Togo, and 5 in Dahomey. And then we'll put 5 levels of ironclads in Guinea, and then a couple each in these other areas. And that should be just fine. I like round numbers, but not that much. English mass immigration. Oh my goodness, they're migrating from Great Britain to California. Wow, standard of living in Great Britain must be really rough. It isn't. It's that big statue. They love that big statue. They can't live without it. Alright, so we got some wars going on. This should be just fine. And so what this will do is this will also... Oh, if you want peace, the armed forces suggest a more hardline foreign policy towards Sokoto due to our poor relations. If half of what you're saying is true, I wouldn't want you anywhere near that border, she said, but I don't think it is. Mother, you always said not to trust the Sokoto people. Why would you trust them to... Well, you said not to trust Sokoto. Why would you trust them to respect our borders? No one wants their son to do it because they know it's dangerous. That's exactly why we need to do it. Sokoto's kind of, I think, a multi-ethnic nation, so I don't want to say the Sokoto people because I don't think that's... I'm not super knowledgeable about this, but I don't think it's one... I don't think this is any kind of nation state. Set aside polite formalities. They are the enemy. Armed forces happier. Deteriorates relations. Or despite our mutual dislike, there's going to escalate reduced authority. Armed forces salty. I'm going to make the armed forces happy. Having the armed forces be happy is a big thing that I like. Okay, so East Houseland is almost... has a lot of Hausa people, but it also has some Fulbe people. Then Nigeria has 60% Equatorial Bantu people and 40% others, including some Hausa and Tiv people, and some Fulbe there and some Fon. There's the war, and then finally North Cameroon is a large majority Equatorial Bantu. So yeah. We've enforced colonization rights over here. That's going to make our colonization go even faster. And once this war gets done, we'll be seeing the same over there. Infamy is continuing to go down, which is nice. Pleased with that. Very pleased. Am I already rivaling the French? I'm not. Let's be rivals. Austria, let's be friends. Getting a little bit of extra influence is also good. So the naval expansion is really going to help with our power projection, which is going to be super duper useful in terms of keeping our great power rank high, because France is above us at this point. We're not getting as many bonuses from those expeditions as we were doing. So that's part of why we've gone down to third. But this naval expansion is going to help change that. I'm going to throw this in all the way at the top of our construction queue, because these, again, build really fast, and it'll be easier to have a visual to the size of our construction queue if we get these knocked out and done with. Getting a little bit of extra influence is also nice. Italy, you're in the French market. What's going on with that? Relations are poor. That's very sad. I don't wish relations to be poor. Got a lot of interesting borders down there, but that is what it is. Let me see. We got a thing going on in Nanfang, which I'm going to happily be neutral about. And our war is finished over there. So we got another Tidor situation kicking off in Tidor. Oil in Antioquia. That's fun. So Tidor is a puppet of the Dutch East Indies. So if we... Ooh, there's vulcanization. Excellent. So this means we can produce a ton more luxury clothes. But at what cost? At a cost in rubber. So, export routes for luxury clothes are now much more available. I'm going to set up all of these routes, because our ability to produce luxury clothes has just gone way, way up due to all of the rubber in our market. So I'm going to grab everywhere where we're producing luxury clothes even a little bit, and increase that to doing to using elastics. So this is going to... Oh, it's going to increase the cost of silk. So we need to import more silk. We'll get it from the British and from Japan. That's interesting. I didn't realize. I thought it left the silk price the same while increasing the price of... while also using rubber. But apparently it uses more silk as well. What's the rubber situation, by the way? We're still way overproducing our need now, correct? Yes, we are. Well, we're selling quite a bit of it abroad now. Wonderful. And virtually all to Great Britain. Because no one else wants to buy it. They like their luxury clothes over there, that's for sure. Netherlands sides with Tidor, alright. But can I get a subject? I cannot. So I don't care. You know me, I like having subjects. You know, that's my thing. Alright, we are heading into another election. We will see if President Europe can keep the presidency. I mean, I think obviously he will, but you know, it's fun to pretend there's a little bit of doubt here. He can't. He almost assuredly will be able to, because he's heading the party that consists of, you know, some absurd amount of the country. With that having been said, momentum has been creeping up for the Socialist Party. So you know, as we get back to as they get closer to 0%, we'll see kind of how things align there. We may have some kind of path to socialism journal entry, but again, we're not necessarily doing that. So, as we've increased our engine output significantly, I'm going to see if there are more export routes. We can export to the Dutch East Indies, for sure. And then Morocco can accept some engines. Frankly, I'm thinking about going to free trade just so that we can... No, I can't go to free trade because I don't have the industrialists in power. Well, it is what it is. I made this bed, and now it's time for me to lie down in it. Let me, Alright, so 4th American Fleet. I'm going to rename you the Pacific Fleet. Confirm. Or no, you're the West African Fleet. Alright, and then 3rd American Fleet. You are the Pacific Fleet. And that'll be nice. I can just have a couple of smaller fleets. And then I think for the Atlantic Fleet, we're going to throw another guy in there. Let me see. All these guys are dorks. Come on, give me someone good. Why are there so many ethno-nationalists around here? Down vote. Alright, I know you're an authoritarian, but you get to be a commodore. Alright. Partisan papers. We'll do this one, and then we'll, queue in some more boats, and then we'll close out. Party-affiliated newspapers have been proliferating during this election season. Publications associated with the Socialist Party have been particularly effective in spreading the party line. Read all about it. Honest politicians attacked by shameless cowards. Leading candidate for office issues heartwarming appeal to common man's heart. Man on campaign trail pets a puppy. Read all about it. They've used the papers brilliantly. Circulation is through the roof. This is a boon for publishers, or it's in the state interest to stop the spread of lies. I'm going to go with the middle one as always. There are definitely countries we can export paper to, so I'm going to flip over to encourage exports for paper, and we can export to Britain and Brazil, and eventually other places. Let me actually just tick down the week, and we'll see what other export options we have. French market as well. Wonderful. Because we're producing a ton more paper now. Japanese market. Excellent. Alright, so I think from here, I was going to build up the Atlantic Fleet, which again is our main fleet, with another 20 levels of escorts, and I think another 20 levels of ironclads as well. Yeah, it's going to put us to 60 and 50. That should be fun. Alright, and that is all we've got time for today. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.